Hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. Well, it's been a really great month in Tunbridge Wells, I would say, in the property market this latest February that we've had, and showing signs of really strong growth in certain property groups. So last month I brought you all that average sales data. I thought I'd change this month a bit and give you a bit more of a flavour of what is selling and getting those best prices and what is not. There's certainly a degree of which it's the demographic of what the property is. So two really dominant movers in this market at the moment are first-time buyers and upsizers. So first-time buyers obviously always very keen to get on the property ladder. They save hard, work hard, rents are really high, mortgages are actually quite cheap in comparison to the rent. The biggest challenge has been getting your deposit together, but as people who know, watch my vlog, there are lots of banks coming into this space to give really high loan to value mortgages, even up as high as 100%, which we haven't seen certainly for some time. So those first time buyers, the properties that they like, that sort of cheaper end, going above 500,000 is a real challenge for a first time buyer. The stamp duty starts to really ramp up. But those kind of real entry level, lower level properties proving very, very popular. So anything priced around sort of 200,000 upwards. We live in a very expensive part of the world here, that goes very, very quickly. So that kind of market moving really well, and that affects all of the zones really. Those cheaper properties obviously tend to be in cheaper areas. Often they've got really great transport links, which works really well for those first-time buyers who often are keen to get up to the capital. And yeah, upsizers, they're the other big group. So those really strong four-bed detached or semi-detached family houses, they've been very dominant over February in Tunbridge Wells. And again, those ones that are closest to really good schools, proving that they can steal a march on the competition, be that either primary school or the grammar school level. So those are the biggest groups that have really had a change and seen that strong demand. You've still got to price correctly. You still can't oversell your price. And probably the biggest thing that affects how well your property does within that is its presentation, actually. So what does really well, either a complete doer-upper, it's an absolute project property and has been priced accordingly, or a really great seductive finished article property. So if your house looks really bang on trend in terms of its fashion, the design styles that you've used, the kitchen, the bathroom, we have got such a throwaway culture now and trends change so quickly that those sort of properties have become really dominant because it is just so expensive to do up a property and people like moving in and seeing the dream. So those really well presented properties in those strong family areas, priced well, have definitely been the star of the show. I could sell those all day long. So yeah, it'll be an interesting snip there for you on the Tunbridge Wells market. Perhaps next month I'll do my fuller in-depth again. I'll mix it up each month just to keep it interesting for you. Well, it's fascinating in the world of portals and AI at the moment. I mean, AI is obviously, we're all aware of it now, I would say. It's certainly been coming over the last few years. We use it in bits of our business, but believing that you really need that human intervention to kind of oversee the top of it. But fascinating what's been going on in the world of portals. So, of course, the most dominant property portal in our country is Rightmove. Everybody, it's like a part of common parlance, isn't it, to say that you've been on Rightmove. Everybody does it. We all love it, whether we're thinking of moving or selling or what, not at all. We just like to go onto Rightmove. Well, their share price has dipped phenomenally. Back in, when was it? September 2024, the RIA Group, who's the equivalent of Australia's Rightmove, I would say, at the time, they bid about 6.5 billion for Rightmove. And the board rejected that, saying that they didn't bank in the full value of the company. Well, here we are 18 months, less than 18 months later, and Rightmove's value is sitting at 3.15 billion. So it's halved from what it was and what the RIA Group actually offered them. And so it might see Rightmove for the first time falling out of the FTSE 100 very soon and sitting as a FTSE 250 company. They still are a hugely profitable company, and last year they came out saying about how revenues were up by 9%, and that's because their strategy has been very much to deliver really good revenues through charging agents high subscription prices. As a single branch, I pay a huge amount to Rightmove, and I don't have the luxury of what the large corporates can get in a discount on my branch rate. They pay substantially less than me per branch. But why is this happening to Rightmove then? They've got a model that really works. They're generating enormous revenue that has gone up 9%, and yet their share value has halved over the last 18 months. Well, that is because of AI. Their CEO said it was absolutely unthinkable that AI would replace Rightmove, but clearly market forces think differently. I'm going to try and segue into this a snip of a new portal that's coming called My Porter, and hopefully this will show you why Rightmove need to be rightfully a bit worried.
Hi, My Porter. Please can you find me a one-bedroom flat to rent? It needs to be less than a 30-minute commute by public transport to Shoreditch. I'm looking for somewhere with really fast fibre internet and a private balcony. Oh, and please only show me places that are cat-friendly for Leo.
No problem, Mia. Here are a few properties to rent that I think will be perfect for you and Leo. Here's one you'll love. It's a sleek one-bed at Equipment Works in Walthamstow. Leo-friendly, balcony views, and just a quick hop to Shoreditch. Want me to line up a viewing?
This looks nice, My Porter. Does the rent include access to the gym and co-working space, or are those extra?
Good question, Mia. The gym and co-working lounge are both included in the rent. No hidden extras, just your monthly payment and utilities. Pretty decent deal for Walthamstow, right?
That sounds perfect. Can you see if I can book a viewing this Saturday? And what other perfect properties have you got for my next chapter?
So hopefully you saw then an example of what is going to be coming. We're going to go much more to voice-driven instructions, but My Porter will do a text as well, text prompt, and it shows you can be much more intuitive and detailed on your search and use AI to use things better. There's so much to do in terms of how to vision how a room could look. They'll restyle it, rework it, and the difference with that is Rightmove is only shows you the properties of agents that subscribe to it, and that's about 85%. With these new AI portals, they're not going to charge agents a subscription fee, and they're going to go direct into agents' websites, and therefore you will see 100% of stock that's available. It's why On the Market and Zoopla and Prime Location have largely failed, because they simply didn't have all the stock levels that Rightmove had. And there's a big whole thing I could talk about why that happened. But these new AI portals look like they will deliver all properties and in a much more intuitive search, making the buyer experience better. And when the buyer experience gets better and the buyer stops looking on Rightmove, then they need to be afraid. So really interesting what's happening there. I am watching with fascination, and I will keep you posted. I hope you have a really great week. It feels like spring is coming. I really, really hope so. And I look forward to keeping you updated with everything that goes in the property market over the coming weeks.